We are just on the other side of March. And as of this morning, we're starting to see some decisions trickle in from the University of California, which is very exciting for those of us out on the West Coast. It's a very popular university system. And a lot of students are starting to be in a position now where they know more or less some of the options that they're going to be having for next fall. And they're starting to see what their financial aid packages are going to look like. And we want to spend some time today talking a little bit about students who might have a little bit more uncertainty at this time in the process. And in order to do that, we're going to welcome my colleague from Central Time, right in the middle, Carrie Lewis. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Ian. I'm happy to be here.
I'm glad to have you. And ostensibly what we want to talk about here is the timeline. A lot of people sort of say, okay, you're going to apply to college and everything's done by November 1st. And those are maybe the best laid plans. I don't know if most students ever achieve that. I think other folks in a conversation will say, hey, you got to apply by the new year. That's when most of the deadlines are. And when we get to the second semester of your senior year, we really want to be in a position where you're just waiting to hear information back from schools. But what we want to talk about a little bit today is the reality that there are still a lot of schools out there for whom the timeline is quite a bit different. So can you kind of introduce folks to, just that concept of schools accepting applications a little bit later on into the spring and perhaps why that's a part of those institutional processes?
Sure. Um, for the question of are schools still accepting applications, the short answer is yes. A longer answer is yes, but. And so I think there's an asterisk, or actually, I think there are kind of three asterisks into the idea of if
Okay,
colleges are accepting applications.
I like this. Let's
Um,
do it. What are the three?
ast Asterisk one is yes, there are many institutions that are still accepting applications, but the longer students wait, the fewer options there will continue to be.
Yes.
So now is the time for students to work on applications if they have yet to apply,
Yeah.
for multiple reasons. Um, it Timeline wise, again, we're continuing to see colleges that will have deadlines that will appear on the calendar as we get toward the end of the academic year and into
Mhm.
summer.
Mhm.
Um, where students are right now in their senior year of high school, most likely for students that are looking to apply, you've got the infrastructure and support of your school counselor and your teachers and all of the people in that school environment that can help you through this process. And
Yes.
if you wait until summer or you wait until the academic year, you lose some of those connections. And it gets more difficult to find people to write those letters of recommendation on your behalf, to connect with teachers who are like Usain Bolt gone for the summer out of
They are
the
out.
schools,
After that
right?
last day of school, they are
At the
gone.
lake house or wherever they are for the
Yeah.
summer, to get a counselor to provide you with a transcript. The structure is there for you to do that now. Better to strike while the iron's hot than to wait.
I think
So
that's right.
that's number
Yeah.
one.
I think a lot of students there is this tendency to want to wait and see how things look. But I think from
Yeah,
our perspective, getting things in earlier is always better. And of course, we're in March, so it's
right.
not early anymore, but there is still space for applying for schools that have these rolling admissions processes, right? And so,
Absolutely.
we talk about rolling versus pool-based admissions here.
Mhm,
And the
mhm.
pool is essentially everyone applies by a single deadline, and the school gets to see all of the applicants and decide which ones they want to have.
Right,
In a rolling process, schools admit as the applications come in.
right,
And that's what you were saying about there not being maybe as much space later as there
right.
might be now, right?
Exactly, exactly. Which leads me to asterisk number two, which is that even if a university is still accepting applications, that doesn't necessarily mean that all departments, all programs are still open to additional students.
Gotcha.
So, particularly for majors for disciplines that maybe have a separate process,
Yeah.
thinking like fine arts, where you may be required to complete an audition or submit a portfolio for review, they sometimes have different timelines than the university overall. And so just understanding that again, as options may continue to dwindle, particular programs or your choice of majors may also be limited the longer you wait in the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah. And I think that's really key because students, one of the things that we see, not often, but as we get into the spring and decisions start to come back, students are being maybe admitted to a university, but not for their first choice major.
Hmm.
They're starting to look at the programs that they might have available, and maybe they wanted a CS major, but they're being offered a general studies opportunity. And there's some uncertainty that they can study what they want. And so a natural possible reaction to that is, well, I got to look and see what other schools are still accepting
Hmm.
applications that offer that program. But you're saying, hey, those spaces might actually be filled. And it doesn't mean that you can't apply, but is there, a reason to maybe reach out to a college to ask about available seats and kind of
Yeah,
follow up and communication there?
absolutely. The best information about what opportunities exist at a given university will come directly from the university. So that good old-fashioned research and legwork, reaching out, reviewing a university's website and finding what information are they sharing about deadlines, about program availability, that will always be the best information for students.
That sounds
Yeah,
right, and I think there's always this kind of concern or anxiety that if I reach out, they're taking my name
right.
down and they're going to see like, am I trying to get secret information? But really, admission officers want to be helpful.
Right.
They want to put you in a position where you understand the opportunities available at their school. So there's a lot of transparency to the extent that a college is able to be transparent. I think that students can get from a call like that.
Yeah.
You mentioned a third asterisk.
I do. I do. I
What is
think
it?
for students who are, let's say, I don't want to say reliant necessarily, but at least hoping that maybe some sort of financial assistance will
I was
come
wondering
with
about
an
this. Yeah,
acceptance,
yeah.
um, that those deadlines may be related but separate from the
Hmm.
admissions timeline. So here
Hmm.
we are in the early days of March. March 1st is a big priority deadline for scholarship and financial aid programs. So again, the longer students wait to apply, the less opportunity they may find in terms of getting funding to help for their educational expenses. So
Hmm.
that's another reason to reach out directly to universities is to find out not just what are the application timelines, but what is an institution's timeline for scholarship and awarding financial aid.
Yeah, I mean, that's so big. And I think, we on the admissions side, we often talk about application process and getting
Mhm.
in. And I mean, that's the name of the show. Maybe the name of the show should be getting in and then funding
Right.
your college coach conversation because it's such a big piece of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And so I think, as we always say, this is really an important family conversation to have, and just to make sure everybody is on the same page as you move into these later dates. And you can reach out to financial aid offices and see what kind of opportunities might be available there. I do think, Carrie, that I wish we had a financial aid expert on this show, but it's possible that there is some merit aid that is
Yes.
available, even as the need-based aid is
Hmm.
spoken for because of those deadlines, and so there could be some space where a student might qualify for a grant from the university.
Yeah.
So how do we know which schools are still accepting applications? I mean, I could visit every school website and go and look at their deadlines and see if they are later than the calendar currently indicates, but that feels like a really slow process. How might I investigate what's out there?
Yeah. I think one of the best tools for students to use is the Common Application.
Hmm.
And we think of the Common Application as an application because it's right in the name and that's the
Yeah,
primary
of course.
function.
Of
But
course. Yeah.
over the years, as the Common Application has evolved, it has become a tool. So it's not just an application, it's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, right? There are all kinds of different features and functions that the Common Application platform can provide. And one of them is college research. So for students that have a Common Application account, you will find in the menu options there a college search function. If you can navigate to the college search function, you also have the opportunity to filter colleges on different parameters. one of which is an application deadline. So just this morning, I was checking my Common Application account and found that of the 1,200-ish institutions that participate in the Common Application, that accept the Common App for their application, um, 830 have application deadlines that are March 10th or beyond.
What?
And
What?
over half of those institutions have deadlines that are June 1st or later. So by the numbers, like
Yeah.
half of the schools that accept the Common Application are still accepting applications for this fall 2026 intake.
Wow.
And schools on that list are not just lesser known institutions necessarily. There are some surprises there. So schools like Penn State and Arizona State and Oregon State are on that list. Both New York and Florida Institutes of Technology, Hofstra, Pitt, Texas Tech. So schools that you have heard of
Yeah.
are still accepting applications. So using that common application tool as an opportunity to research what schools are still open, I think is a tremendous resource that we often overlook. We take the function of the Common App for granted
Yeah.
in that research space. So that's a great way to narrow down and find schools that you're interested in that still have options.
I almost didn't believe you.
Yeah. And you
I
went to
should
go
trust
check
you,
yourself.
Carrie. Yeah. No, I logged in and I was like, okay, how many do we have after March 15th? And you're right. I mean, there are
Hundreds.
many hundreds of
Yes.
schools here that are still accepting applications.
A lot.
So this is not a strategy where you go and you figure out and you start applying to all of them because man,
No,
you're going to rack up some serious application fees doing that, and
absolutely.
it's not a worthwhile extension of effort. But if there are schools that you know that you're interested in,
Mhm.
you can search for them among the filter that you've already set to see if that
Right.
school is still accepting applications. So it's a great way to kind of take a look. And I'm thinking, Carrie, about students who might be in this position and why they might be in this position.
Mhm.
Because, as we talk about this, we really want to get students on the application process as early as possible. It doesn't always happen that way. And so I'm thinking about kids who maybe are starting to hear back from schools and they are unsatisfied with results. I'm thinking about students who maybe their plans change. Maybe they thought there was a reason
Yeah.
that they wouldn't have been able to go to college and something has shifted in their life or in their home situation. And now it feels like a real possibility. Um, and I'm curious your take in terms of how students can think about kind of three categories of options here. One is, considering where you might have gotten in from applying in the fall. The second is looking to create new applications, which a lot of students are kind of like, I don't want to go back to the well on that.
Right.
And then also thinking about community college as a possibility for the fall as a way to stay close to home and then potentially transfer to a four-year school when the time is right. So what are kind of the pros and cons that students might think about with those three pathways? And of course, that's not exhaustive. There are many other choices students can
Right.
make, but how do you think about those three things?
Yeah. Uh, I think all of those still really represent the fact that there are still opportunities and options for students,
Yeah,
and they in different shapes and forms.
yeah,
If you're not happy with the acceptances that you have, going back to look at your list or the things that you set as the guardrails for yourself as to how those universities landed on your application list in the first place and maybe what has changed. That's something good to reflect on and consider, and then find
mhm,
institutions that maybe meet different criteria than the institutions that you initially applied to. For students that have already created a Common Application account, like you can go back and add more schools if you didn't apply to your max on the first round. I know, harkening back to your previous session that you had with Hillary Powell from PLU, that if you have a Common Application account, some of those opportunities for direct admission still exist. So for students that haven't applied anywhere and just the opportunity of creating that account with Common Application may present you with some of those automatic acceptances in ways that could be surprising if you weren't of a mind that college was for you in your future.
yeah,
And then Absolutely. I think that's a great point that you made as the third one on your list of what are options that aren't a typical or traditional four-year university pathway. And
Yeah.
there are so many options of community college, of technical programs, of apprenticeships. So there's a pathway, I believe, for everyone post high
Hmm.
school. And
Hmm.
it's a decision tree about what path suits you best.
Yeah.
So it takes a little bit of thought work sometimes to get there, but there really are just a multitude of opportunities that still exist.
The upshot of this whole conversation, I think, is that when we get to this point in time in a senior year, a lot of students think that a certain opportunity has been closed off to them, that the path to any four-year college is not available. And so we're reinforcing here that there are still hundreds of potential options
Right.
out there. There still may be some grant money that's available to you. And so don't feel like that opportunity has been closed off.
Right.
But you also still might want to pursue some of the other options that are available to you.
That's right.
Um,
And I think
yeah.
also, I just want to point out that students sometimes feel a little bit isolated at this point in the process if you don't have the options that you want or you haven't applied. But just remember that you do have a team available to support you through your teachers, through your school counselors. We're all still on the clock and here for this process as well. And I think one of the other things to note is that our professional association, the National Association of College Admissions Counseling, for almost 40 years around this time of year, has issued a list of what they call the College Openings Update,
Mm,
which is where colleges and universities voluntarily raise their hand to say, we are still accepting applications. And NACAC collects that list and sends it to school counselors and admissions officers across the country. So if you haven't had a conversation with your school counselor, in the near future, they may also have a separate list of
yeah.
colleges
Yeah.
that have notified this system that they're accepting applications to.
Yeah, and I think it can be hard, sometimes to want to restart this process in a scenario where you might see classmates who are wearing the sweatshirt of the school where they're planning to
Right,
go, and counselors sometimes are starting to now think about juniors and their process. But I want to reinforce that it's about you, right? It's about what your
right.
goals are. It's about what you need for your future, and so use the team that's available to you
That's
at
right.
your school. And really be confident that there are options that are out there and you can find one that's a fit.
100%.
Any parting words that you want to share for this topic,
No, if
Carrie?
students are still looking, do it now. Like now is the time. So
That's right. That's right.
don't wait any longer. Begin the process as soon as possible.
I like that. Let's get on that train.
Great.
Thanks a lot for coming on the show, Carrie. I
My
appreciate
pleasure.
you.